All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 135-pound division, where one of the more successful trainers in boxing revealed some information about Gervonta Tank Davis relative to Ryan Garcia and why he believes that Gervonta Davis is the by far superior fighter, and why that means Ryan Garcia is in for a world of woes. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 135-pound division, where we know that Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia are going to have a big fight on April 22nd. There's been a lot of talk about what's going on with the fight. At first, it was whether or not the fight was going to happen at all. Then we progress once we find out that it's going to happen. Then you have a whole bunch of what I consider to be silly excuses and unnecessary excuses coming from Ryan Garcia's camp about the fight. But now we're actually starting to have more and more people talk about the fight itself. And in this case, it is Shawn Porter's father, Kenny Porter, who gives his 2 cents on the fight, having worked with Gervonta Tank Davis in Las Vegas in preparation for this fight coming up. And he says something that I've said for a while, pretty much from the first time that I've seen Gervonta Davis, and what separates Gervonta Davis from guys like Ryan Garcia and pretty much anybody else in that 135-pound division, 130-pound division, and maybe the 147-pound division. And only one guy that I can really think of may be in the same category as him in the 147-pound division, and that may be Terrence Crawford. And that is on the one thing that you really cannot teach in sports, but yet is the basic fundamentals core of athletics, and that is athleticism, and how Gervonta Tank Davis is just different in that regard than Ryan Garcia, and how, that is why you wind up seeing a lot of the knockouts that you see with Gervonta Davis, and something more than likely Ryan Garcia is not going to be able to deal with because it is exceptional. Now, before I get into a little more detail about that, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you are a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support of the channel, especially the people that support in the super thanks, and hit the likes button and share the video. That is what I get out of the conversation that we're going to have here. So thank you guys very, very much. But let's get into this. Gervonta Davis, the first time I saw Gervonta Davis was on a video. Well, I saw him in a fight on an undercard one time, and I was like, man, this kid is really, really nice. Winds up knocking the dude out. And then I see this video as his name starts to grow, where he is I can only guess that he's in Baltimore, and at kind of like a neighborhood track. And it's kind of a neighborhood track because there's grass growing in between the cracks of between the slabs of of the sidewalk, right? And people are kind of in the area walking around. And then, so he's going back and forth on this track, right? Kind of just like moving back and forth. People are kind of amping him up. And then he takes a little bit of a running start, cuts to his right, and then sprints up this hill, where I was like, man, dude, what is this dude? Is this guy a boxer or is this cat a running back? Because he literally looked to me like he accelerated all the way up the hill. Now, Shawn Porter's father, who's Kenny Porter, has been around boxing for a very long time. Obviously seen some of the best fighters in the world because his son has fought some of the best fighters in the world. Talked about that with Gervonta Davis and talked about how that is the separating factor between he and other people. Because he said, look, man, this kid is not just a good athlete for a boxer. He's a great athlete for anybody. Talking about how, like, to get into the ring, he'll do a complete somersault over the ropes, land in the land in the ring and start laughing about it and how much and talking about how he would love to be doing, more things like that. However, he really can't do that because, he doesn't want to get hurt, doesn't want to throw training off or whatever, right? Also, if you look at kind of like the punches that he throws, the ability for him to move forward, move backwards, and do a lot of the things that he does, especially like that, especially his punching power. And I think that also bodes true for a lot of these other guys that are really big power punchers. Specifically, the guy that I'm looking at is Deontay Wilder, another person who's just, a tremendous athlete and was, and had success in pretty much every other sport that he's taken part in. Deontay, though, obviously took on boxing at a very late age, but because of his athleticism, and his explosiveness, specifically his explosiveness, was really able to be successful in the sport. Those are the type of things that are, really make athletes special, is their explosiveness. And that's something that Gervonta has. And I think Ryan Garcia also has to a certain extent. However, if he has it, it's in his hands. It's not in his feet, because his feet kind of plodding, kind of slowly moving forward type of guy really doesn't seem to be the same caliber of athlete. So typically when you combine somebody that is that good an athlete, and you put him in a sport, and they're in that sport from a very early age. In this case with Gervonta, he's been boxing since he was 8 years old. And so now he's 28 years old, 28 years old, 20 years in the ring with that level of athleticism really can allow you to start doing some pretty amazing things. Early, sorry about that, had a little bit of a sneezing fit. Another example of that is a guy like Terrence Crawford. Muhammad Ali was very, very well known for that. The fact that he was an excellent, excellent athlete, aside from just boxing. And you can see it in his foot speed. You can see it in his hand speed. So, so Kenny Porter says that right there is the main reason, that separates Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia. Now, of course, athleticism in and of itself is not going to win it for you if you do not have the know-how, the skill set, the experience, and all of that in order to beat a particular opponent, especially when you're fighting with a guy that's longer than you, taller than you, like Ryan Garcia is. But I've long said this, man, that's one of the reasons why I put Gervonta Davis up there high in the top 10 pound for pound, and why he's able to go in there against a guy, Mario Barrios, is that's much bigger than him, and be able to react so quickly, and have his power come so effortlessly without really, really loading up, which is something that I think that Ryan Garcia does more than Gervonta Davis does. I think that Ryan Garcia, tries to display his speed, and I think that's all fine and dandy. But I don't know if the exaggerated thing that he does on that. I always forget the name of the bag, the dragon bag, whatever it is, that little thing with the top, whatever that one is, man. I think that's a little bit more of a show. And I think Gervonta Davis kind of shows it more in like explosive shots that just come off like that, just come off like they're supposed to. But anyway, that's the difference that Kenny Porter said was in there. And I'm adding also the amount of experience that Gervonta has and how his camp has built him over time to get where he is. And I think Ryan Garcia just kind of got put there a little bit quicker, a little more quickly, and may not be all the way done, and ready to get in there with Gervonta. But we'll see. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.